What makes a Zelda game unique? Is it the way the tales connect to each other? Is it the evolving gameplay? Or is it the elaborate music? Whichever you believe makes Zelda Zelda, you have to admit the series wouldn't be where it is today without the immersive soundtracks. What's up my homies, it's Edible Incredible, and today I'll be listing my 15 favorite songs from the Zelda series. So I was planning on just listing 10, but then I realized how many bops I'd leave out, even though 15 is still so tiny when looking in the grand scheme of things music-wise. And this is my list as of now. Music tastes tend to change as we grow, so if you ask me my favorite song in a year from now, I might just give you a different answer depending on what wowed me recently. And with that out of the way, here's my number 15. Skyward Sword may forever be a heavily debated Zelda game, but man, those haters got nothing on its soundtrack. Ballad of the Goddess just reeks of adventure. It's introduced by Zelda in the beginning of the game, and sung beautifully. They should bring this singer back for a future Zelda. Her voice fits the role so well. So I recently picked up Spirit Tracks again, and yes, the main overworld theme is super catchy among many others. But I was hooked on the theme that first plays in the Forest Sanctuary. I found myself sitting in this area just to prolong the song. Funny enough, I couldn't find the name of this tune for the longest. I was searching up Forest Sanctuary theme and getting nowhere. I had a feeling it might be a track that plays in multiple areas, since I'm still fairly early on in the game. Which ended up being the case. It's called In the Fields. Not really a catchy name, but one hell of a bop. Man, what a finale. I feel like this song is what the whole game builds up to. I'd say it's my favorite Ganon battle theme. I remember when I first played The Wind Waker, stumbling onto the final boss room on a completed save, and playing through the final boss fight over and over. My kid self just couldn't get enough. Good old Gerudo Valley. There are so many remixes of the song now that it's pretty ridiculous. You don't traverse this area of the game until the end, and I always thought it was a fitting location to lead into the showdown with Ganon. The best way I could describe this theme is the Gerudo fight song. I'd picture them hyping themselves up with it before heading off to war. Castletown at number 11, I like it that much. It's such an upbeat and happy theme, reminiscent to Hyrule as a whole before Ganon's reign. It also highlights the carefree mind of a child, specifically the evolution of young Link to adult Link. It's a great song to prelude the whole game's adventure. Another amazing intro tune, Outset Island. Memories of leaving Link's grandma behind to save his sister, sword training with Orca, or getting the giant pig for Rose. Outset Island is one of the best starting areas because it teases the overworld by being simply surrounded by water. It makes you want to start sailing right then and there, and its theme encourages that feeling even more. Coming back to Outset Island is satisfying in itself, especially being able to cure your grandma's mental state with the fairy. Majora's Mask has such an unsettling yet hopeful soundtrack. Deku Palace has an upbeat foreground but a somber background. Flying around as a Deku Scrub isn't my favorite part of Majora's Mask, but this song makes up for it. I know the temple theme is a lot more popular from Melee, but for the sake of a Zelda ranking, I had to choose the original. Although Melee's version does add some juicy layers. For its time though, the temple theme from The Adventure of Link kicks some serious booty. I especially love the part where it gets a little bit quicker. My favorite overworld theme, the Great Sea. It's one of those that seems to never get old, no matter how long I'm searching for even a Triforce shard. I just love how the theme starts with a sunrise. It's the root of Wind Waker's flashy charm. It's that spark you need after completing a dungeon. It's your inner pirate. It's...
adventure! Yeah!
After helping Krima, she rewards you with Romani's Mask, which finally gives you access to the adult bar. I find it hilarious that milk seems to be an alcoholic drink in the Zelda series. One of the Gorman brothers appears to be quite sober often, but the music here is much more tasty. Slightly sad that it only plays in one small location, but it's the incentive to visit good old Mario and Luigi. In my opinion, Fi's theme is the best companion song, but I feel it shines a little bit brighter in Fi's Farewell, saying goodbye to your robotic guide who finally understands what human emotion is right before she returns to her eternal slumber. I don't have the capability to fully understand the human spirit, Link, but now at the end of my journey with you, as I prepare to sleep within the Master Sword forever, I experience a feeling I am unable to identify. I lack sufficient data to be sure of my conclusion, but I believe this feeling correlates closest to what your people call happiness. The most expansive iteration of Hyrule Castle is Breath of the Wild's. It demonstrates what the game did really well. Exploration with plenty of secrets and items to discover. Hyrule Castle is a landmine in this sense, and its booming theme gives it that grand sense of closure. I love how it changes ever so slightly when you're indoors. It's so much more somber compared to the epic feeling outside version. The transition of flying out with Rivali's Gale as the music shifts in scope is still so satisfying. As much as the Hyrule Castle theme fits Breath of the Wild's version, Ocarina's is all about the human incarnate of Ganon. His cockiness and arrogance is represented with how powerful he feels in playing a friggin' organ atop the old Hyrule Castle. He's so full of himself, and this theme highlights that, which makes for the most dramatic ascent up Ganon's castle we've ever seen. You acquire the Master Sword and make your way to Hyrule Castle, just to find out your second slate as Aghanim sends Zelda to the Dark World. After you think you've defeated him, he sends you to the Dark World too. Then for the first time, the classic Zelda formula shows its head greeted by the iconic Dark World theme. It always gives me that retro 2D Zelda vibe, which is so nostalgic. One of the most catchy Zelda tunes that even newer fans can easily appreciate. So for the honorable mentions, I'm gonna go through them rather quickly. Oh man, Zelda's Lullaby. I can't believe I'm putting this as an honorable mention, but inevitably there's so many I'm gonna have to leave out. This song makes you feel sad in an oddly nice way. As you all know, Midna has one of the top character developments in the series, and this tune is where it all started. Her opinion on Link didn't just begin to change at this point, but her view on the people of Hyrule as a whole. The evolution of the Clocktown theme from day 1 to 3 is so tight, with each becoming slightly faster, increasing the sense of urgency. The background of the third day gives off such an ominous tone, I friggin' love it. The sequence of soundtracks from the title theme to the legendary hero to Outset Island are probably my favorite music pieces to introduce a 3D Zelda. And once you set sail for the first time with that epic Great Sea theme and arrive at your first destination, you're greeted by such a unique Zelda song. Dragon Roost is so fast-paced, yet calming at the same time. It's also filled with that sweet taste of adventure. It plays alongside the series' introduction to the retail. I love how elements from this theme are found in Breath of the Wild's retail village. And that's my list. Feel free to rank yours down below. I'm curious what your favorite Zelda song is. So I finally have a desktop, which means more Zelda videos. I hope you guys look forward to it, and as always, stay hyped, my homies. Peace!